Good afternoon. This is Virtual Newsmakers, and we are today coming to you live with a guest from Norway who I'm really very impressed with. His name is Yngve Hauge, and I met him in a game and realized, what an extraordinary person he is in real life. So I kind of want to get started with the topic today, and it's what would you do to stop or prevent bullying? And today we're going to talk with Yngve about what he's doing to raise awareness about bullying, and his focus this summer is going to be on cyberbullying. But bullying impacts people across all walks of life, and this is really a global problem. It's not just something that goes on with teenagers. It affects us in our workplace. There's cyberbullying online. Maybe it starts in the schoolyard, but this is also something that isn't just found in one country. It's really a worldwide issue, and I really am happy to say that we're kind of bringing a global look at how others are taking this problem on. So anyway, today I'd like to say hi to Debbie Ellickson, my co-host in Canada.
Hello.
And I'd like to introduce Yngve Hauge of Norway. So, hi Yngve.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about your world, where you're coming from, and why you got started with your project, and why you got started with it?
I got the experience with bullying myself, so that's the start of it.
Okay.
But I met the leader of the organization, Chris Joachim in 2011, and then he had just started the organization. And he asked me to join because I'm good with computers and administration, and he is not just that. So I've been in the organization from there on, and we have tried a lot of things, and then at that party actually we come up with the idea to walk really long trips to put focus on bullying. So last August I did walk from Molde to Oslo, which is about 500 kilometers, for 4.5 weeks, and then posted on the net and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Wow. Okay, so basically for the Americans, just out of, that may be watching this, you said 500 kilometers?
Yeah.
About? And it took you 4 weeks. Is that 1,000 miles, or how far is that? Any idea?
Yeah. It's between 300 and 400 somewhere miles.
That's about from where I am to the U.S.-Canada border.
Wow. Okay. And it took you 4 weeks. Were you walking fast or slow, or?
About 20 kilometers a day, about 15 miles.
15 miles a day. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. So as you're going along and you're walking, you're taking images and pictures of the beauty of the world around you. And you share a lot of those images on using Google Plus and Instagram. Do you use Twitter, you said?
Yeah, and Facebook.
Twitter and Facebook. Okay. Yeah. Where do you feel like you're gaining the most awareness about what you're doing?
Twitter, actually, but because I'm mostly on Twitter myself, so.
Okay.
Yeah, not that much on Facebook. I just use it to get to know people and stay in touch with people I knew long ago. So.
I got it. Okay, so you're really bringing in your existing people, but you're using Twitter to get the word out or to show the world what you're doing that you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to kind of give a little bit of a background. Yngve has a website that is called Antimobbekontakten, and it's basically an anti-bullying resource for the Norwegians. It's easily translated and is a good resource no matter what language. Google translates it for you if you go to the site. And it's ANTIMOBBEKONTAKTEN.wordpress.com. And I think a lot of the articles in here that you're writing, Yngve, are you writing those, or are they being written by your team, or?
I'm not in that part of the organization.
Okay.
People that write articles.
So you've got a team that's working together to raise this awareness.
Yeah, around. So we are in 5, 6, and no, very soon the more cities in Norway, or rather towns.
Oh wow! Okay, so this isn't just one area of Norway. It's countrywide.
Oh, we have mostly been in southern Norway, but now we got a team up in Tromsø, which is the capital in the north. So
very nice.
So we are getting there.
Okay, so this summer you're walking starting around August 11th. Is that correct? August 11th.
Second in August, yes.
Okay, so are you walking for a month again?
No, I'm walking from southern Norway this time, from Kristiansand.
Wow, so how long do you suspect your trip is going to be?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, so you're going to walk faster, or is it farther or shorter?
Shorter. A lot shorter, and not that hard.
Okay. Okay.
It's along the coast.
And when you're walking this trip, are you stopping along the way talking with people, or what is the agenda there?
And this year I'm gonna talk a lot more with people. When last year when I walked alone, it was very much about getting from one place to the other, and it's not that many people living on that stretch of Norway. But this time we are walking through a lot of towns up along the coast. So.
Nice.
How is your when you stop to talk to people about this issue? How is it being received? How are people responding to you?
They are responding really well. They're surprised that I actually am doing what I'm doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they share their own stories of how they've been bullied?
Sometimes I met people who have experienced bullying themselves, and then other people who are actually bullied or taking care of bullied people. So we meet a lot of people, and most of them have some experience with bullying.
Yeah.
Because in Norway every week 35,000 people are experience bullying, so it's a big problem in Norway as well.
Wow.
So it's 30,000, you said?
So how do they put a number on it?
Yeah, they got some. They ask around, and
those are the ones we know about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are bullied, and those on the internet or virtual bullying, it's harder because it's much harder for teachers to observe and to stop. So,
and do you think this is just a teenage problem, or is it a problem for older people as well?
It's a problem all over.
All over, all ages.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is there a psychology? I noticed that some of your articles are about this on your blog. Is there a psychology of the typical bullier or people who bully? And what are the ways that people who are feeling bullied can handle that?
They have to keep around them that believe in them and then can help them, and we are working to make bullying a law besides all the violence, like so it's going to be treated like a violent act and not just being put on many different laws and very difficult to handle.
Yeah.
Both bullied, it's important to speak to someone.
So,
Don't,
so where do you think it starts from your perspective? How does somebody make that decision to be a bully? Obviously, they're angry and they feel like they have to lash out. But where do you feel, from your perspective, that starts from? Obviously in the home, but how does that come about? Is it from abuse? Is it from, I mean, sometimes they're not from abusive families. So what do you think the reason is we have such an issue?
the problem is in insecurity, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone beginning in a new school or something like that, they are insecure, and to make themselves less secure, they have to make themselves bigger than they are, and that's one reason why bullying is happening. But there are many different reasons, like that speaks differently. It's new children and beginning of school is really tough. I know that from my own experience because I moved a lot, and you are really more insecure because you come to a new school, you come somewhere, and then maybe you are quiet, you don't talk that much, and then it's very easy to start bullying.
Right.
And most people don't know how much damage they're doing. And that's the main thing we have to put focus on, that you actually are damaging someone.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, and I think that online it's so easy because you're not communicating face to face with someone. And when you're looking at somebody in the eye to eye, it's really hard to be abusive to them.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy. Debbie and I call them trolls. You know, for trolls to, I also call them keyboard cowards.
I like that better.
Because they hide behind this personality that they've created for themselves that's larger than life and isn't really who they are at all.
But sometimes you know who they are. I mean, sometimes the bullies are there. They're in your Facebook feeds. They're in your YouTube feeds, and they actually have a name on them too. They're not anonymous.
No, they're not always anonymous, and you're absolutely right. So the big question then becomes, how does somebody who is feeling bullied online deal with that? Mm-hmm. What is your suggestion?
Yeah, on Twitter, it's easy to block someone. It's actually more difficult on Facebook and other social media.
It's very easy on G+ to block people.
You can block people on Facebook too. Yeah. Actually, all the sites you can block them. LinkedIn's a little more difficult.
Yeah, but Facebook and the site ask.fm is really bad when it comes to bullying.
Yeah.
Because then you can ask questions anonymously, and then you don't have to show them who you are, and you ask questions without actually thinking about what you're doing to someone else.
Sometimes they're doing it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, and for many people who are being bullied, it's kind of it's tough not to be included in a social happening, and I believe that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really tough because you are there, you are not really there because you're frozen out of the whole thing. People are not talking to you. If you say something, you don't get any replies. It's really tough.
Yeah.
It's not that much happening in social media, but in real life, that's a really bad way to bully someone.
Well, and I'm going to step in, Debbie, really quickly and just sort of say that LinkedIn in the past, recently, has made it extremely easy to block and report people as well. So I think all the social networks are stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, we need to give people the right to get rid of people. And I have a friend, Tanya, who was on the show with us a few weeks ago. She's phenomenal. She has all kinds of responses. Sometimes she combats them, sometimes she blocks them. You know, she liberally blocks people that are jerks. And I love that idea. I want to encourage people that if you feel in any kind of way that somebody is not bringing anything positive to your social space, and you know, I'd even go so far to say if they're bringing any kind of negativity to your social space, you have the choice not to have them.
Absolutely, because on your social space is like your house. It's like inviting people to a gathering, and all of a sudden somebody starts acting stupid. So you ask them to leave, and if they don't leave willingly, you have them forcibly removed.
Right.
and so it doesn't matter which social media platform you're in, or whether it's your blog or what it is. If somebody keeps in the conversation starts throwing hateful stuff or something that offends you or might offend somebody that you know, you have the right to delete it. I mean, just because it's a public forum doesn't give anybody the right to troll it. So you, as the owner of that feed, can easily delete that comment.
Right.
And then if they continue, and I've had to do this, when somebody can, and they may not necessarily be intentionally bullies, but they put hateful comments in, or you know, and you just don't want that crap on your feed, so you delete it. And if they do it often enough, then you unfriend them or block them, or both. And so we can control our feeds to a certain extent. We can block people on Twitter, but and I think if you block and report them, it's really the only way to get that comment off your feed.
Right.
Yeah, it's really important actually to tell people why we block them, and not just block them, because then they are none the wiser and they don't know why.
Well, sometimes sometimes they're just trolls, but I think it's important not to feed the bully, because as soon as you engage the bully, that just starts a whole
fueling the fire. Yeah.
I mean, it just adds. You never feed the bully, because they react. They don't react rationally.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that if you notice that someone gets bullied, you have to say so, and be clear that you don't support such actions, and because if you do that and join the conversation or whatever, you give support to the person who are being bullied, and that I think it's important.
That's great advice.
Yeah. I think the thing to do, though, is I think it's got to be one step further than just raising awareness, because while it's interesting that this is happening worldwide, I think it's even that much more important to develop some kind of solution-oriented mindset around this, and so that people know what to do. So maybe the awareness isn't just bullying is a problem, but here are the solutions that we suggest to empower you to be able to cope with and deal with bullying. So with that being said, if you were to go out and give people 3 to 5 solutions that they could do to prevent this bullying from happening, what would they be?
Take care of other people. Look around you. if you see someone that feels not included, include them. That's the main thing. And then tell people who are bullying that they're actually doing that, because some people aren't aware that they are bullying.
Okay.
But all people are different, so you don't know how people react. You have to watch and observe and see if what you're saying actually comes. And then basically it comes down to show respect.
Yeah.
With both sides, because some bullies are bullying because they got problems themselves, and maybe they also need help. So don't bully the bullies.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is great. Are there resources that you would suggest for people to go to if they feel like they're being bullied, or if they or that you might give to a bully to cause them to really think about what they're doing?
Yeah, I can. I got an example. If you got a piece of paper and then pen or tear it, you can never get it together. That's how bullying are affecting people.
Yeah.
You hurt someone, and and it leaves a scar. And those people who are bullied, actually, they sometimes never can get rid of those scars. It's not like you can do a plastic surgery or something like that to remove it. It is in there, and it leaves insecurity. So it's actually important for those. If you feel like you're treating someone badly, tell them that you are sorry. I've done that, and you maybe got a friend for life, because the quiet ones, those who listen, those are probably the best people to have among your friends.
Yeah, that's very true. Let me ask you this. Telling these stories, if people came out more telling their stories, would that help?
Yeah, I think so. I myself am being very open with my story and how it affected me, because I believe that will help others to maybe avoid the errors I did. Like I crept into myself for several years. I was really quiet, didn't talk. I just did hide behind a mask.
Yeah.
And if I had come out earlier, I would never had those problems, and maybe got help a lot earlier.
So you want to encourage people to to have the courage to tell their stories, because their stories may help others.
Yeah, and at least tell someone your story.
Yeah.
You might not be able to speak about it publicly for some time, but at least tell someone.
Okay.
You
mentioned a woman that her daughter, something about the daughter was being bullied. Can you share that story?
Yeah, I can do that. During my walk, it was actually the night before, where I was going on the Norwegian radio. I heard this on Twitter. There was this mother where her daughter was sitting at the kitchen table crying because she was so worried and scared to go to school the next day.
Wow.
And what do a mother do? Or a father? Or
right. What was your advice to the mother that day?
What can you do? You can't do anything, because so short time. The school did start the day after. No one would wanted to be friends with that girl, and you can't force people to be friends with someone either.
Yeah.
So, but in this case, it ended really good because she changed school, and now she got lots of friends, and so end of the story was really great, but it didn't start that way.
So maybe good advice to someone would be, if you're in a place that's not working for you, change your location.
Yeah,
I mean, is that a...
and maybe, but you have to get support from the school and uh, for people working in the school to maybe there's a solution inside the school.
Yeah.
And but if that doesn't help, we believe that for the bullied to have all the time have to change schools, it's not good either.
Yeah.
Because then people are bullying, they are actually coming out the other side like winners, and that isn't very good.
No, it's not.
So to me, it's
in a lot of North American schools, Canada and the U.S., sometimes the school administration seems to protect the bully because usually it's, if they're going to suspend anyone, sometimes it's the victim that gets suspended. I mean, there's a whole host of issues in school administrations, but so maybe school administration and teachers need some education on how to deal with bullying.
Right.
yeah, because actually teachers don't get very much training in how to tackle bullies. I've spoken to teachers that are really actually afraid because they don't know how to react or to deal with bullying.
Right.
And that's really sad, because those are the people who should know or should have some knowledge on how to deal with bullying. And
Especially
sometimes
because the kids, I mean, that's their first line of defense, is to go to the teacher. And
but my thing is that it all has to start with the parents. The parents should teach their children to show respect for other people, take care of other people, and that should be the first thing that's be in their mind, and not how to make themselves stronger because someone else is.
The solution.
Okay, in this conversation, I had this idea. Early on, I was speaking with Debbie before we got onto this show about the name of your website, which is fine, but it's calling out the problem and not the solution. But you keep sharing the solution over and over again, and the solution you keep sharing is show respect. So I want to encourage you to shift your language away from the problem and toward the solution more. And if that solution is very simply said in show respect, you could maybe use that as a hashtag, and that you could encourage people to, during this period of time that you're walking, to share pictures every time they feel bullied or every time they see bullying around them, to simply share a picture that shows their respect for something in this world, either another person or you choose to do it through flowers. And for those of you who have not seen Yngve's photography, he takes a lot of pictures of wildflowers along the way, and it's almost this story of the beauty of this earth along his path. I would like to encourage you to use a hashtag that enables people to also show respect for the world during your journey, and I could see this becoming something global.
Yeah, that's actually my challenge to people watching this, that during my trip that starts August 11th, I challenge people to actually do something on that day at 12 o'clock, because that's the time we are starting. Uh, and we're gonna issue a tag like you said, and then you can make this something really big happening that day.
Yeah.
Or if you are
I don't know
Australian.
that it needs to be limited to a day. I think
Yeah.
it gets limited. I think it gets expanded to the entire
Yeah.
duration of your walk, because you could be showing respect along the way, but I could be walking and showing and sharing respect in Miami. Debbie could be walking and showing and sharing respect of how she, what she sees as respect in this world from Edmonton or wherever she is whenever in August. We don't ever know.
You never know.
But we could start a movement of people around the world showing respect simultaneously as you. I had a conversation with a gentleman from Iran today, and we were basically having the same conversation about what would the world look like if we started to show kindness and show respect to one another. And it was a powerful conversation that kind of led me straight into this, but this isn't something that I think just stays in Norway. I think that we could have a global journey of showing respect with you in August.
It's a movement, I think, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect timing for a movement. Kindness and respect movement.
Yeah, I just think that to make it really starting with a bang, then if around that day around the clock, people posting on that tag and then continuing to do that during my trip, that's okay. But if you start that day with a bang, then much will happen afterwards anyway, because then people are involved. That's important for us.
Let's make it happen.
That's a great way to end this show. Let's all start a movement of kindness and respect, starting now.
Today, here, now, you, me, everybody.
Yes.
This is very exciting, and for those of you all that are coming in late, Yngve is doing a walk across his country, Norway, to raise awareness about anti-bullying, and he's going to photograph and tell stories along the way and share that out using social media. And he's inviting us, or we're inviting you, to become a part of this greater chance to show respect in this world. And can you imagine if this, how great would that be? I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it starts with the stuff that you even post on your feeds.
Yeah,
so post positively, post positively and respectfully.
And comment positively and make a difference. Instead of bringing the world down, each and every one of us has it's a choice. You have the opportunity to bring the world down and be part of the problem, or you have the opportunity to lift the world up and be part of the solution. And to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yes. So that is what a great way to leave the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to also let people know about Yngve is going to be launching a crowdfunding opportunity for you to give if you're interested in helping move his journey forward. And that starts in June, is that correct?
Yeah, and it starts June 11th.
Tell people what, if I was to give $5, what would that mean to you? And Debbie was too, and what would that do for your trip, and how would that be used?
All be used to buy equipment, food, camping costs, and stuff like that. So everything is go towards the trip, and we got the trip is called "We Walk Together Against Bullying." So that's also the Indiegogo.
Nice. So it's We Walk Together
against bullying.
Against bullying. Ooh, I love this. Let's do a global walk next year.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm going to have a real walk next year myself, so.
So you are launching on Indiegogo.com. You're launching a crowdfunding opportunity for people to be a part of this, to kick in a little piece of help to make this happen. You're launching this on the 6th of June, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, well, we will be sure to let people know about that, and you can count on us to help
nice.
If you could challenge people today to do something this week to make a difference, what would that be?
Show respect for someone you actually don't know.
Nice. And that's beautiful. Show respect for someone you don't know yet. Is that correct? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I am hoping and wishing that everybody that sees this will show a little bit of respect for somebody that you don't know. And I really, really want to thank you, Yngve, for joining us. I mentioned earlier we met through a game. It's called Dragons of Atlantis. And I have to tell you, it's really great to see a virtual knight turn into a knight in shining armor actually stepping up and helping the world in real life.
Aw.
I really want to thank you because you've completely inspired me.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to help people. That's my goal in life. So.
Where are all the heroes? We need more of you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start recruiting them out of this game and like pushing them into the world and making them do nice stuff for people. Anyway. It's a pleasure, and thank you so much for all of you who have joined us today. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed what we have, that you subscribe to our virtual Newsmakers show. We invite you to ask questions. We also invite you to comment and share your stories, or if you've got anyone in mind that you think we need to be sharing their story, we are certainly open for your suggestions. On that note, have a good day and have a great weekend from Virtual Newsmakers.